Man, shout out to everybody catching the video playback game. Seems like it's become a podcast world now, all over the internet, where has-beens and retired athletes or OGs and whoever else can join certain platforms and give their thoughts or perspectives on life and reveal secrets that people didn't know about. And there's one particular podcast that I've come across quite a few times where people are telling their stories, and it's called The Art of Dialogue. And the host asks these individuals a series of questions in regards to their experiences with certain people. In particular, P. Diddy had an impact on a lot of people's careers in the music industry. And I noticed how now that this guy has been dealing with his legal situation and is locked up, now these individuals, what's up, Dragon Leg? Now these individuals are brave enough to come out and expose certain things about the individual that calls himself P. Diddy. But you know, it's so crazy, man, that it has become a ongoing series with just different characters that are talking about how they have been violated by Diddy, and they have put themselves, you know, in these situations to try to be successful. And as a result, you know, when things didn't turn out the way they thought, they had to get cast to the side or, you know, get with the program. And a lot of these individuals are finding out that, yeah, I ain't watched the documentary, Dragon. I ain't watched it, but I just be seeing these people in these interviews that have all of these stories. And it's crazy because, you know, they call it The Art of Dialogue, but it seems like nowadays, as long as they're willing to pay these dudes, they start telling. It's become the art of telling now. These dudes are just paid to just expose secrets, you know, paid to even talk about how they got violated. You know, this guy Q, you know, the one that's on the screen here, you know, I remember when I was watching the Making the Band, you know, I think for sure the first two series or first two seasons I watched with the rap group, Chopper, you know, Dylon and Frederick and Enes and all of them, Babs. I remember seeing them. And then I remember seeing the Day 26, which is the group that, the R&B group that Diddy, you know, put together. And then now we finding out that Q was violated and taken advantage of and whatnot. And it took all of this time for this man to come out and say something. And it's taken all of this time for a lot of these individuals who have been involved to come out and say something. But you know why I feel they coming out saying something? Because they're getting paid to talk now. A lot of them been struggling all this damn time. Diddy done violated them and robbed them of all of this money that they were supposed to get, or money that they was hoping to get. And now it's like these podcasts, these people that have this, you know, these podcasts or whatnot are paying them to do these interviews to talk crap, to just be telling and gossiping, man. That's the shit that turned into, though. Whole lot of telling and gossiping. It used to be a whole lot of thugged out, real G's moving silence type shit. Now is, you know, G's tell everything now. That's what I'm saying. So you got gangsters out here telling on themselves. You got R&B artists telling, and to be honest with you, man, some of them I do feel sorry for, and some of them I don't, because a lot of them know what they're getting involved in. Now, some of them are like young and they don't know, but then there's ones that's like 17, 18, 19. They aware of what's going on. And they're making certain conscious decisions because they lust to become famous, to be in the company of certain people that they feel is going to help their career or whatnot. And it was no different with this guy Q, no different with, all the rest of them artists that signed with Bad Boy or tried to get on. But all it has shown is that it's just a violation nation. And it's the art of telling nowadays, because they're willing to pay these dudes to expose themselves, basically. A lot of these dudes would have stayed in the closet on a lot of this, but because they paying them on these platforms, get 5,000 here, 10,000 here, whatever, they're making these fools just come out, and talk about their experiences and shit. And a lot of times, it's like, a lot of people don't even want to hear this shit. It's just like, man, that's your business. Y'all decided to do all of that, man. And hopefully justice is being served. If Diddy's been out here taking ass or whatever all of these years, hopefully he's getting what he deserves. And he's been beating chicks up. Hopefully karma's caught up with him. You know what I mean? And it's probably, that's why he in there. But these individuals nowadays, that are coming out disgruntled and still mad at this man. It's like, what have y'all done since then? How have you pivoted from such a, disgusting experience you went through? Such a traumatic experience. I mean, this dude's talking about how he got to get a shot every week. And I'm like, what? Because of whatever he went through. These dudes love, just to hang out with these celebrities. They want to pop bottles with them. And the next thing you know, you wondering why they talking about waking up sore and shit. And it's like, well, you decided to go drinking with them. You didn't bring your own bottle, did you? Do you know the bartender? Do you know the people that you was hanging out with? You was just trying to fit in, huh? And that's what happens, man. A lot of these individuals just trying to fit in, trying to get put on, but not paying attention to what happens to these individuals who get put on. And then years later, be talking about these so-and-so ruined my career. When they've seen countless other artists before them get violated and come out and tell their stories, man. Some of the biggest artists that we've ever seen, Michael Jackson, Prince, they've exposed shit to where it's like, where have y'all been? Where have y'all been at, man? To where, yeah, man, it's a heavy price. Yeah, you're gonna be famous, but they may take your anus or something, man. And if you okay with that, be okay with that. And a lot of these dudes have been okay with that. And nowadays are trying to, come out and talk about it wasn't consensual or whatever. I think a lot of them lying. A lot of y'all was cool with that, man. You was okay with hanging with the booty bandits until you didn't get your check. And now you're willing to take a check to tell some shit, that didn't nobody know about and then nobody need to hear about, because it was some shit that you had to learn about with the music industry or with this particular executive or whatever that you had to deal with. And I just hope that a lot of these certain artists that's trying to get put on, quote unquote, is paying attention to this stuff. I mean, because there's so many platforms and podcasts now to where it's just like, y'all niggas still want to get signed to all of these dudes, man. Y'all really want to go through this? And these individuals talking about how like they can't go just have a regular life, they can't have a regular job because people picking on them and harassing them. I remember what was it? What's the guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? The geeky, nerdy cousin of Will and shit. Carlton, man. He tried to get a regular job. They was fucking with him, man. A lot of these dudes, it's just like, damn. Do I go back to the casting couch or do I go get a job at Target? So it sucks for these individuals because that's the path that they take, a lot of them. And once they take that path, ain't no turning back. A lot of times. Now, some of them have pivoted. I remember, what's that one chick? Felicia from Friday. I remember Felicia from Friday. She got like her own restaurant or something. And she's doing really great. And the people are accepting her owning a restaurant and not acting. So shout out to her. She was able to deal with whatever she had to deal with in the beginning process of doing that, which I'm sure people was like, what the fuck you doing? What you out here cooking fried fish for? You out here making, healthy meals and shit for people? Shouldn't you be win your next movie, So a lot of these individuals that have signed these contracts or have been in these situations in these bright lights, a lot of times they just pressure. They feel like they got to still get down with the get down. Otherwise, they just like a regular person. People don't want to just be regular no more. You got to just be extraordinary, extravagant. And, your name got to be mentioned amongst another group, a certain group for you to feel like you were successful, Might be a lot of sucking to go along with that success, man. Some of these individuals taking certain paths. And I don't like that, man, that they be trying to use their path that they take to get violated and say, hey, man, hard work. This was hard work to get here. They try to brag in front of regular people with morals and principles. They try to brag in their face and talk about they worked hard, just all the while they done some whatever they done behind closed doors to get put on. And they want to talk about, hey, man, the hustle, man, it's the hustle. I'm working hard out here. Y'all ain't working hard enough. Yeah, okay. So some of these people is cat. And they up here getting, special treatment because they doing special things behind closed doors. And then when they start, when these people don't want to mess with them no more, then now you out there, abandoned, man. You out there naked, and you got to figure it out. So a lot of these individuals, man, it's a price to come with that. They be wanting to be popular and famous so bad, This guy, whoever this Diddy guy or whatever, just a regular person, to me, but they see his position, his status, and people are so captivated by someone's status and ego or money to where it's just like they'll do whatever just to be in that company or just to be able to get a piece of that experience instead of going about their own path. They're like, oh, let me see if this man can make a way for me, then they find out, hey, what do I got to do? It ain't just about your talent, It ain't your talent, it's your ass too. So, man, a lot of these young artists is paying attention. That's why a lot of they trying to sign these artists hella young, the ones that don't know. Naive booties out here, man. Being influenced to, take these certain deals that they don't know nothing about. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, man. And then certain people, man, tell you like, I'm sure some people are happy, like, damn, man, I dodged the bullet like a motherfucker, man. I was trying to get on. I was trying to get signed back in the 90s. Man, I'm so glad I didn't have to go through that shit. Because a lot of these people nowadays, you look at them, look at our artists from the 80s and the 90s, man, early 2000s. A lot of them ain't, man, a lot of them is bad. Is going through some bad times right now, man. Like just some real shit. They either drugged out, broke, and they can't talk because they scared that they say something, and try to deter people from getting into that field. They scared something gonna happen to them or their loved ones. So that be the situation. They take these oaths, they get involved in these situations and try to change their mind after they done already been in the company and the mix of all of these creatures that's paying them. And then they want to get back with the mass population like everything is normal. No, it ain't normal no more, man. You made that choice. You know, and it's unfortunate for the ones that didn't have good guardians to guide them and deter them from a lot of these leeches and monsters, man, that's taking advantage of them. Because a lot of people's lives is getting, I mean, I'm telling you, it's like they getting chewed up and thrown out, man. You know, and few of them come out unscathed to where it's like, dang, either your reputation gonna be tarnished, or you're gonna be broke, or you're gonna be addicted to something, or, you know, your morals is gonna be compromised, and your integrity. Somebody say, yeah, Justin Bieber looks terrible. Yeah, man. Young. He was young. One of them young ones that got involved. Usher Raymond and Diddy and all of them. Just, you know, they go after the talent. You know, but somebody was saying yes. Somebody allowed that fool to spend nights with Usher and Diddy and all these grown men that was hanging out with these cheerings. You know, but you got people like Q, you got Q, Angel, and all these dudes that was in Day 26, and you got Ines and Frederick, all these guys that was seeing what was going on with this dude. They were seeing this zestiness taking place in the atmosphere, man. I remember seeing Chopper talking about this shit. Chopper Young City talking about, man, he's seen some zesty ass shit. You know, he's seen P. Diddy in action. It wasn't some rumor. So to still continue and get involved with this individual, and he, you know what I mean? And he offer you some shit and you take it, well, then that's on you. So, yep, you want to look nice, you got to pay the price. Yeah, man. A zestathon, man. Y'all be seeing these zestathons. You want to get involved, get the t-shirt and shit. Go to the parties and then feel some type of way when you wake up the next day, you know, out of this deep sleep unconsciousness, soaring shit, like this dude Q talked about. And how everybody was talking about, man, I didn't ask to be hazed. You asked to be famous, man. You asked to be a part of the elites, you know, amongst the company, to be celebrity. That come with it. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, man, they, you know, these individuals got to be, yeah, and it's be amazing, too, because I'm not talking about Q in this situation right here, but it'd be shocking to me that it'd be these so-called thugs and shit, gangsters, you know, that swear they so masculine and shit. And a lot of them be the main ones, man. A lot of them be the main ones. Tellin and love to join these parties with these the zestiest, most, you know what I mean, oiliest executives out there, man. They love hanging out with them. They be like, damn, ain't you a Crip? Or ain't you a Blood? Ain't you a Vice Lord? Ain't you a whoop-de-whoop? Why you hanging out with these greasy niggas so much, bro? You been kind of showing up a little oily lately, bro. You still down with the set, or you with the oil squad or something, homie? This shit getting greasy out here, man. So I'm seeing a whole lot of greased up gangsterism taking place. And it ain't the same, homie. I'm from the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. And gangsters, it wasn't like that, homie, back then. This new greasy, glossy gangsters, man. Skinny jeans and it's glossed up, man. You know, and these dudes getting on beats trying to sound tough, going to gloss parties, man. You're not having it. So, crazy times how these podcasts, man, All you gotta do is throw some dollars at these fools, and now they coming out talking, telling everything, man, telling it all. Dudes will be quiet for 20 years straight from the industry, 20 years straight. Soon as the podcast game start cracking off and they start throwing money their way, oh, niggas don't care about snitching no more. They don't care about being exposed as a snitch. They don't care about being known as being somebody who's one of the zestiest R&B or rap artists out here. They don't give a fuck. As soon as you start throwing money at them, you be like, wow, you too? Damn. So, yeah, out-of-pocket promotion, actual facts. Shout out to the people that pulled up for the live chat, man. Shout out to the ones catching the playback, man. I'm just giving you, quick topic on how dudes change up, man. Sprinkle a little cheese in front of them, they telling it all, man. And the truth got to come out. Truth will set you free, but we seeing that a lot of these individuals, man, they didn't choose freedom. They chose slavery. A lot of these individuals are slaves to materialism and they're slaves to fame. They want to be somebody so bad, and they willing to do anything for it. And then when they actually make these choices, now they got to live with the consequences. They got to think about this shit every day. This is why they want to be drugged up. This is why they out here, acting bugged out, because they dealing with the reality. It's eating them up. So, yeah, man, snitching promotions. They choosing evil, man. They choosing evil. So whatever they want to talk about that's going on in the sky or underneath the ground or whatever, heaven, hell, it's a whole lot going on right here on the main stage that they call planet Earth, man. Y'all be worried about all the other shit, somebody coming back, or, this person, is possessed or influenced or whatever. Man, it's a lot of shit taking place right in front of your eyes. And, it ain't that complicated. A lot of people already chose their side, man. If you with that dark side, you probably involved in a lot of that zesty shit. You probably chasing materialism. You probably want to be famous so damn bad. You know what I mean? A lot of these people, they can take the internet away right now. They would not know how to function, because they be mad. They would be like, dang, my audience can't hear from me today or can't see me today. If they shut this shit down today, I'm straight. You know what I mean? So a lot of these fools is learning a lesson like, damn, man, look, I wish I would have took another route. So somebody said that MJ Quincy Jones video, when Quincy Jones had his hand on his lap. Whole lot of that shit, man. Yeah, a lot of people be trying to defend Quincy Jones too, man. Please, man. It was a whole lot of stuff taking place. That man, that name ain't squeaky clean like that. At all. So yeah, man. Quick flame, flame of shame, to a lot of the artists that have made these choices consciously, and also flame of shame to the guardians and the supervisors and parents of the ones that allow their children to be in these vulnerable situations. Like it may be an usher, like he was young, his mother just let him live with Diddy, for what I heard. Whoever's the parents of Justin Bieber, like, and a lot of these individuals be thinking about their own situations, getting out of the struggle too. And they use the struggle as a weapon, make you desperate to where, look, you don't want to suffer no more. You don't want to struggle and do it the hard way. You want to look, just do this right here. Commit yourself completely to us, and your life will be straight. But you can't care about nobody. Okay. Fuck family, fuck all the people all the shit you care about, leave all that behind. Just, come with us and you're gonna have a good life, quote unquote. So yeah, sports too. It's taking place not just in music industry. We're seeing it taking place in football, basketball. They exposing this shit now. So even the people that's athletes, right? How far do you want to go? How successful you want to get? You think people ain't question this Anthony Joshua shit? You know, how successful do you want to be Anthony Joshua? Oh, you want to be more popular than Jake Paul? Okay, let's take your friends from you. I'm just saying that's how I can go out here sometimes. A lot of people believe that that's what happened. You know, that an oath was broken, somebody didn't stick to script, or you just had to sacrifice to go to another level to be able to touch them certain M's. So a lot of these people want to be, a lot of people want to be successful, quote unquote, like that. Zendaya's looking sickly out here. Oh yeah, I mean she's always been looking skinny, but if she's looking even skinnier than what she was looking, oh yeah, man, how's she even living? You got to eat, young lady. You know that lady be looking drained out, man. I don't know. In the industry, the pressures of that, like you can only be on eat these certain amount of food. You got to be on this strict diet. You can't even just live your life and enjoy. Models and shit. So it's just a crazy society, man, just to try to fit yourself into. And not so much maybe the physical, because physical heals, but the mental trauma and the emotional effects of dealing with all of that stuff that you see you can't erase. Being in that industry, stuff that I'm sure that Q seen and all of these other artists that have been with Diddy and seen. A lot of shit is traumatizing. Just like what the fuck did I didn't want to see that shit. You know, dancing with a chick and you thought it was really a chick and it's a dude. Like, what the fuck? Why would this nigga invite me to this type of party, cuz? Yeah, people say that AJ went off script. Yeah, man. But that's all I got for this one, man. It's enough flame for this. Y'all can give y'all thoughts below. I am the Black Horseman. Shout out to the ones that caught the playback and everybody that supports this true media movement. Peace.